Okay, so picture this. You buy a pair of magnetically driven inline skates, learn the art of graffiti, start listening to a hardcore pirating radio, and start a new graffiti game. Well, at least that's the premise of the game Jet Set Radio. See, the game was so influential during the time that people could hardly separate it from its digital innuendo, and I can completely understand why. It's a beautiful work of art, but people hardly remember it at all. See, Jet Set Radio, also released in America as Jet Grind Radio, was created by Smilebit and released by Sega for the beautiful but doomed Dreamcast console. And even though the game's original console wasn't around that long, Jet Set Radio was a huge success. Not only did anyone who played it loved it, especially me, but it was good enough that it got a sequel for the original Xbox in 2002 and a remaster in 2012. Sadly though, as mentioned before, the game is barely remembered today. So how was Jet Set Radio such a huge success? See, during the game's creation, Smilebit had a specific and special dream in mind. One that would be attractive to kids whose parents didn't understand them very well. Trying to capture the booming late 90s counterculture, Jet Set Radio drew ideas from quite a selection of media. These would include the Japanese destinations Shibuya and Shinjuku shopping district, the rhythm game Parappa the Rapper, and oddly, the movie and book Fight Club. And the soundtrack is filled to the brim with hardcore J-pop, rock, and acid jazz, and the in-game artwork consists of cartoons, comic books, and actual street art. Basically, this game had a unique identity. Even within a few minutes of gameplay, it becomes obvious what Smilebit was trying to create. What helped even more was that Jet Set Radio's aesthetics were completely unique and people loved it. What made this game even better was that the gameplay is like a mix of Nintendo's Splatoon's Turf Wars and Activision's Tony Hawk Pro Skater. But the story centered around a game of street punks expressing themselves with art of graffiti, traversing the cities while performing tricks and being an overall menace to society. Hey, wait a minute, that's just like me! What also made it better was the level of design. It was so good because of the fact that it made traversal extremely smooth and made us nerdy kids feel like overall renegades. But it wasn't perfect. See, the controls can be floaty and the level of design can be claustrophobic in some areas. But then there's the story. Ho ho ho! That's where those Fight Club influences really shine. It's most likely where the counterculture is most present, oozing an anti-establishment vibe. See, the game's narrative quickly escalates from turf wars and rival graffiti games to evading overly militant police forces to what we are told might be a possible devil invasion. And this just makes me excited for the spiritual successor of this game, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, that's coming out this year. Now, what do I love about it? Well, I love the whole premise of the story and the thrill of grinding on rails. Also, the game lets you create your own graffiti. There is one thing, however, though, that I love about its past. See, during the pre-launch period of Jet Set Radio, Sega of America decided they would have a competition in San Francisco. The name of this event was Graffiti is Art. Sega flew 5 hand-picked artists from hundreds of submissions to compete for a $5,000 grand prize. And even though they were doing it on canvas, the San Francisco city government had a major problem with it. Mayor Willie Brown was loudly against graffiti in the city and even had a task force dedicated to its removal. So, the mayor went as far to get the whole thing shut down. Thankfully, however, his attempts failed due to Sega already legally obtaining a permit for the competition. What made this whole event so important, however, was that even though it was mainly occurring to promote Jet Set Radio, the steps the mayor took to shut it down emphasized how graffiti is looked down upon as vandalism and not an art form. Anyway, that's enough ranting from me today. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and have a good day. Bye.